Welcome to the platform where I talk about everything relevant, topics that resonate, and help you elevate. This is the platform. If you're a new viewer or an occasional viewer, please do subscribe. Your support goes a long way. Thank you. Today's episode is Art of Exodus, How to Move On. So, by the word exodus, you already know what this refers to. It refers to the journey of the Israelites as they were walking, as they were heading out of Egypt and going to the promised land, right? So, Exodus can mean so many things. Exodus can mean a mass departure of so many people. Exodus can also mean that you are now on the journey to your promised land. So now the question is, why would someone want to move on? You'd want to move on because whatever you're holding to is not representing the highest good, and that's why you want to move on. So whatever you want to flee from, that becomes your Egypt. And wherever there is Egypt, there's a tyrant called Pharaoh, and he has no intention of letting you go. So at times you have to find your own way to be able to escape out of the prison that Pharaoh has you in. And no one can do that for you. You have to confront everything that you don't want to face and head into the unknown. But that's the thing about heading into the unknown. Wow. It takes faith to head into the unknown. But it's a good thing to head there because, well, you might find your paradise. But that's the thing before you escape from something that isn't meant for you. At times it can feel like it's home. And at times it can feel like it's something that you have to be in for a lifetime. At times people end up having a permanent mindset in a temporary place, and that's why they cannot exit Egypt. That's why they are stuck in a place where they cannot initiate their exodus and head towards the promised land. And what is the promised land? The promised land is the place of paradise. The promised land is the place where everyone sane wants to be because it can give you everything that you think you deserve, and it can give you everything that you think you want for you to be able to function as a person. It can give you that which satisfies even your bones, and it can give you everything that you desire, and that is the promised land because it is the paradise. And what is the paradise? The paradise is a place and the land of milk and honey. So that's what everyone wants because it will make your life better and it will make you less miserable than you are. And that's the thing, once you are able to escape from whatever you want to escape from and head towards the promised land, you don't have to look back at what was, but you have to focus on what is to come. Because at times, if you keep on wondering what was, then it will take time for you to get to what is to come. A journey that was supposed to take you 3 days will end up taking 3 years. A journey that was supposed to take you 6 weeks can end up taking 60 years. So you have to be careful when it comes to you looking back to your past and not focusing on the future, on the paradise that is before you, on your promised land. And an example of someone who looked back after they had escaped from something was Lot's wife. She looked back and then she ended up turning into a pillar of salt. And what is a pillar of salt? A pillar of salt is that which has hindered you from getting to your destination. And we all have things that hinder us sometimes. So you have to also ask within yourself and say, okay, what is hindering me now from getting to where I want to go? what is hindering me right now from getting what I want to have in my life. Because at times you see that your own desires and your personality, those are the things that are working against you for you to get where you want to be. Your greatest enemy is not the adversary called the devil. At times, the greatest adversary that you have is the one that you have in your head. And that's the one that you have to defeat first before you even conquer everything else. Because your thoughts can be a summary of your identity. Because whatever you are meditating on day and night and thinking about, well, potentially you might end up becoming those things. So Exodus is not just about you departing from a place where you don't want to be at anymore. It's not about you departing from the place of slavery. It's not about you departing from a place where you've been hurt before. But it's about you moving on from the place because you want something that's better for yourself. It's about you moving on because you know that you deserve so much more than what you're having now. And you have to be able to move on. You have to have a moving on strategy that allows you to get where you want to go. Recently, sometime during this week, I I was conversating with this other Uber driver who was taking me somewhere. He was taking me to church actually. So we are conversating. So he tells me that he caught his, well, now it's his ex-wife. She was cheating on him, and he caught her cheating in the act. And then I asked him, I'm like, so how did you take that? Because it's a lot to live with, and it's an image that you never get out of your head. So I asked him, how did you take it? And then he was very open with me. He said that I don't want to lie to you. If I had a knife in that moment, I don't know what I would have done. Maybe I would have used it. And praise Jesus, he didn't do that. And praise Jesus that he didn't have a knife. But he was just expressing to me that if he could do something violent about it, he would have done it. And later on, after that time, he decided to end the relationship. He decided to divorce his wife. And I I could see the hurt in his eyes as he was speaking, because even to date he said that he still loves her, but he knows that she's someone who's not good for him. And at times you have to move on from something, not because that you don't love it anymore or you don't want it anymore, but you have to move on because it's aiding to your misery, and you deserve something better than to be miserable in your life. You deserve peace, you deserve happiness, and you deserve joy, because that is your portion. And then I asked him, okay, so how are you even able to move on from that? Because it's a lot to move on from. And then he gave me a scenario. He was driving. He gave me a warning before he gave me the example because we're in a car. He said that, let's say you get in an accident right now. An ambulance is gonna show up and it's gonna take us to the hospital. We're still gonna be mobile. We're still gonna be on the road. And he said that, would you refuse to go to the hospital because it'll be a car or a van? Would you refuse to go there if they have the chance of saving your life, if they have the chance of making your life better? Yes, I understand that you got injured by a car, but just because you were in a car accident, it doesn't mean that every car is evil, because some cars are there to actually help you out for you to get to your destination. And that was a perfect analogy, because I was like, okay, that really makes sense. So just because, well, let's say you're dating someone romantically, just because someone hurts you, just because you're in the wrong car and then you guys had a car accident, it doesn't mean that there aren't other people out there who are like the ambulance that will take you to the hospital, make your life better in some way. So this car accident is something that hurts you, but this ambulance is taking you to a place that can save you. It's taking you to the promised land. And that's the thing on your journey to the promised land. At times, there'll be cars in the road that just want to give way, you know. At times, maybe there's a traffic jam. It might seem like it's taking time. But hey, let me tell you something. Greatness takes time. If a string is in a knot, then patience will untie it. So you have to be willing to endure whilst you're on your way to paradise, whilst you're on your way to the land of milk and honey. You have to endure whilst you're on your exodus, whilst you're on your journey and moving on, because it will give you what you want as long as if you manage to, to persevere and never look back at that which hurt you. So now the question is, how do you move on? How does one move on? How do I get to the place where I activate my exodus? So number one is that you have to identify that which hurt you. You have to identify why you want to execute the exodus. You have to identify why you want to move on from this thing. Is it because you failed at it? Is it because you were hurt? Is it because of trauma? Is it because of whatever it is that could have caused for you to want to leave your Egypt? Is it because there's a tyrant who is proud of keeping you in bondage? You have to identify why you want to move on. Because if you don't know why you want to move on, it'll be easier for you to look back and ask yourself, okay, why did I move on from this thing? You know, there are some people who at times end up dating their exes. Well, why are you doing that? You know, the same reason why it didn't work out before, it could be the same reason why it doesn't work out now. There's no perfect guarantee. Well, I mean, it could work out still if you get back together, but it's a 50-50 scenario. It might not work out, it might work out, but it's not advisable for people to, get back together like that unless if you broke up over something that was, you know, something trivial. Number two is that you have to burn every bridge that connects you to Egypt. That means that you have to cut off ties that connect you back to the pain, that connect you back to the memory, that connect you back to the person who hurt you and the things that hurt you in the past. I'm not saying ghost them. Ghosting is, I would say ghosting is unrighteous, because I find it narcissistic. I mean, I've been ghosted before. I didn't like it. So maybe that's why I am against ghosting or the concept of ghosting, because I do believe in the concept of communication over ghosting. Well, if someone is not understanding you and they keep on putting pressure on you, maybe yes, you can ghost them or not respond to their messages, and hopefully they'll get the hint. But ideally, it's always wiser and best to communicate before you switch on to such alternatives like that. But the point is, you have to burn every bridge that connects you back to Egypt, because it'll be a constant reminder and it might hinder you from getting to your promised land. It might hinder you from getting to your paradise, because every time you are in paradise now, you'll be thinking back, you'll be thinking about the land of Egypt, where everything was painful, and now you can't enjoy the good company of the land of milk and honey because, well, you have been through pain and you've failed before. But just because you failed once, it doesn't mean that you can succeed the second time. So if it's a person, you can delete their number. If it's a former lover, you can erase the pictures. If it's a friend, well, you can try to distance yourself physically. Number three is that you have to reconstruct your routine, because at times we get so caught up in doing the same thing over and over again, and then that becomes our normal. And when we lose that, which feels normal to us now, even though if it wasn't good for us, we might still miss it. And it's okay for you to miss Egypt. It's okay for you to even miss Pharaoh, even though he was a tyrant, even though he wasn't treating people the best way. It's okay for you to miss him. But just because you miss something, it doesn't mean that it's good for you. So instead of focusing on the pain that was inflicted to you in Egypt, you have to change the routine. If you had to be carrying bricks in Egypt, well, now in the land of milk and honey, you can replace that and use that time to go to the gym. And what is bricks? What I mean by bricks, bricks is the weight that you are carrying, but then you're not supposed to carry it. That's what I mean by bricks. So whatever is weighing you down, you now have to fully let it go and put on the weight that actually edifies you as a person and carrying the burdens that allow you to grow as a person and to flourish as a person because you deserve that. You deserve to grow. You deserve to see the world. The world deserves to see you. So there's so many things that you have to avoid when you're moving on. And the biggest one is that you don't have to look back. You don't have to think about the past. Yesterday is in the past. We cannot change it. Today is in the present. So let us embrace it. Tomorrow is in the future. You the gift from it. So this is episode 7, The Art of Exodus, How to Move On. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. This is the platform.